Continue without it. We are live. What's up, y'all? I am back. I am Jay. I'm a Python developer. I've been one for a while. And with me is Damien, who is also a Python developer, although he would probably not identify as one. You've written Python
At
code. You're a
all.
Python developer, so it
Is
counts.
that how that works?
It,
I feel
once
like
once you write "Hello World," you're a Python developer. That's why we have the most number of developers on the planet, because someone's written print "Hello World" at least once in like every class. They've every college student has done that once if they've had to take an intro to programming class.
well, if there's such a thing as a junior Python developer, I'll take that title, I guess.
I mean, you can be a Python developer, just you're not a professional one, which is fine. Like I'm not a professional one. I'm a developer advocate, but I write more Python code now than I ever have. So
I feel like that makes you a Python developer
yeah.
professionally.
I guess. Yo, this live stream is brought to you by Black Python Devs. If you're black and you're a Python dev, join Black Python Devs. Like that's the ad, and because like it's that
Yeah.
simple. It's that simple. All right, let's jump into this. So you just did a live stream on conditionals. So
Yes.
as we do, I will. I feel like I'm at a weakness here because I caught some of the stream, but I wasn't able to actually like see it. So I'm a little like I don't know. I don't fully know what the conversation how the conversation went, but let's start with I think the first conditionals you had to learn about like truthiness, falsiness, true,
Yep.
false, boolean, those whole things. So all right, so you know that obviously here let me just open up not Pyto, I don't know Python. Here we go. We're just going to open up the REPL and we'll just do like true is equal to true, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair statement. True is equal to
Yes.
true. Yeah, that's true. All right. All right. True is equal to false.
That's a
What do you,
false statement.
it's a false statement. Okay. Huh. Interesting. True is equal to yes as a string.
That's a true statement because it's a string.
Okay. So true
Wait,
is
why is it false? I was lied to. This is why we can't trust the internet.
so let's say if I did if yes. Not if yes, sorry. Is yes. Yes. How do I do this? How do I type this? Yes is true. What do you think will happen? Nothing, because it's like I don't know what that means.
But it says all strings are treated as true, which is a lie. It's a god. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking in terms of Booleans. All Boolean strings are equal to true. But true itself as a statement is not equal to the string. So, of course, that's going to be false.
Yes. There you go. So if we say if yes, print true, is it going to print yes?
If string print true, I feel like it should print true because that's considered a string in regards to this. Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Oh, I'm learning something.
False is equal to no.
So that is going to be false in the same reason why true cannot equal a string, false cannot equal a string.
Good job. All right. So if no, yep. If no, print false. What do you think?
That has to be false. And that's because it's a string and strings are true.
So what do you think it's going to do?
So I think it's still gonna print or it's still going to print false, but the reason being is because no, the string. Hold on. If false.
Okay.
Oh God, I hate this so much. If false, I'm sorry. If no, print false.
What is that saying? What does if no actually mean?
I feel like if no just means if whatever this is no, the string no, print false, is what it's supposed to be saying. But in this context, it can't be saying that because it's not equating to anything. It's just if no.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hit
So
enter,
if
and
this word,
yes, it will print false. What it's saying is this is shorthand for saying if no is true, print false.
but
Ah,
in
it's this
in
is
my
it's the truthiness thing.
okay, but in
And
my
it's
mind, it doesn't make a lot of sense because print false doesn't it just print false regardless because it's not saying if no is equal to true,
it's
print true or false.
it's not checking for true or false. It's checking for truthiness or falseness. And that's the condition of that is like if I do if none print none printed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't print anything because none is falsy in a sense of that. It doesn't equal false, but it's falsy.
Mm-hmm.
It is a falsy assertion of like none is a thing that in evaluation compares to false. This is
So what you're saying is if something is truthy, it will print. If something is falsy, it will not print.
yeah. Same thing if I do if false print false, nothing prints, right?
Because it is false.
Yeah. It doesn't equal false, it's falsy. I mean, this does equal false. If I said if false
0
equals false, then, print false. That statement is a does this thing equal this thing? And the answer would be yes,
false.
It does. So the statement of does false equate to false? That is a truthy statement. And that's what you were trying to get to, where like a string by design, regardless of what that string is, as long as that string is populated with something, it will return truthy. So if 0 print truthy. See? If
well, it's not an empty string or 0.
yeah, as long as it's not an empty string. That's the only time a string will by itself return a falsity, of some sort. And as we saw there. And then again, like if we say if 0 itself is a falsy statement. Like just 0 presented as 0 is a falsy statement. But if you did if 0 equals false, what do you think will happen there?
I feel like that would be. Wait, 0 is false. Hold on. I just got done looking at this. Have it in my notes. Inspected gadget. It should print falsy because it is false.
Yes. 0 does equal false. Does 1 equal true?
Yes. Any number equals true, including the negatives, which is weird, but yes.
Yeah. All right. So you have a good understanding of how Booleans work with conditionals. So now, one of the things that I want to talk about is the idea of doing like conditional statements as they relate to something. So if you have like, we'll say name is J, and I'm not gonna even do the immediate response of my name is Jay and I'm here to say I've gone to rap in a dangerous way. Like that was just, it was too obvious. It was too
Oh, was
obvious.
it?
It was just too obvious. Is DA, right? So we could say occupation is DA. What we could also do here is we could assign an occupation based on a condition. So you might see like, you know, if name is equal to J, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then occupation equals DA. And then if we do occupation, DA, right? And that's just saying like, do these things equal each other? If that's the case, then cool. So now if we do name equals Damien, does occupation change?
Yes. I mean, right now there is no occupation, correct? Because occupation equals DA currently based off of if name is equal to J.
So you're saying that you're saying that it'll still say DA.
No, it shouldn't. I don't think it will. What the fuck? Because occupation's already DA.
Assignment is based as a memory thing. Think of it like that. So anytime you do this equals this, what you're doing is you're saying this reference in memory that has been appointed with that single equal sign is now equal to this thing. If you don't overwrite that appointment, it won't change. Like it just won't change. Yeah. I mean until you restart the program. So like it will all like we can call it now. The only way that we can get occupation to change is if we overwrite it. And this is how we're going to overwrite it. We're going to say occupation equals DA. And now here's the fun part. You can actually apply a conditional to that assignment. If name equals J. Yeah, you got to do it else then. If you're going to do it that way, you got to do an else. Else it equals something else.
Student.
Right?
Fair enough.
So now it'll take that entire expression and do that. And you'll see this. This isn't, in my opinion, the way that you'll normally see it. Just because it's harder to read. Like what's easier to read? That single line, or if we did if name equals J, occupation equals DA, else occupation equals, why can't I type? Something else. Like, yes, it is 4 lines long, but it's so much easier to wrap your head around.
Yeah, the readability, as they say.
Yeah. Now, what you will see in some cases is you will get like some levels of assignment. Like if for some reason we'll just say person is equal to a dictionary that is name J occupation. Probably could have just called this J equals whatever DA. Why can't I remember what that is? There we go. So we could do that, and then we could say, you know, and yes, for the folks that are like, if you had a class, you know, yada yada.
So if this is addiction, could we not add me just in addiction?
Well, no, because you want again. Remember that the singular equal sign is an assignment of a value to that space in memory. So I mean, like we could have people, and then you just have like dictionaries of individual people, and then you like call people J, whatever, yet whatever. But if we wanted to say, print Damien.get, because Damien's a dictionary, and you can do get. We could say get or Damien.get occupation.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that occupation isn't set. So what do you think will happen?
It'll fail because there's no.
It's gonna. Well, I need to fix this because. Oh no, that's right. Boom. We did Damien.get occupation. It'll fail. It won't fail.
It prints none because there is nothing in there.
There is no occupation. The value, the key occupation doesn't exist. And sometimes this is important because if you did print Damien occupation this way, it does fail. You get a key error because there's no key assigned. And these are some of the weird quirks that is just Python and how Python works.
And that's just because there's no get? Like
it's because there's no key that has been assigned called occupation to Damien. When you do .get, what it does is if there's no key, it will just return none. It'll just say that doesn't instead of actually just erroring out, it just returns none. And that's good because sometimes you want it to return none. Sometimes you're like, but you don't want to have to necessarily go about defining it. Or sometimes you don't know what's defining it on the other end. So you do kind of slightly defensive programming of like, I don't know what's going to be on the other end of this. It might be nothing. If it's nothing, then I need to be aware of that. You can also do get, and you can say, and what that'll do is that'll say if occupation doesn't exist, return a default.
Oh.
Yeah.
Will that make it so it always returns that, or going forward, occupation for Damien in that diction is always something else? Or is that just
in that moment? Because we didn't assign it.
Gotcha.
And you can do things like where you have like jobs is equal to a list of, and I know we haven't done this yet, x.get occupation for x in this list of, I don't know why I called myself person and I called you Damien. I just wasn't thinking. If yeah, we can just do that. You're right. Boom. And now when we call jobs, since that's been assigned to a position in memory, it'll just do none. And then again, like we can overwrite that and just do the So now if we do that, you get DA and something else. And now that we've defined jobs, it's just going to return what jobs is. It's
Gotcha.
never going to change that. Now, the way that if you want it to be like super super fancy, like that's kind of what functions are for. Because then you call that function, and once you initialize that function, that's when it's going to run through everything and do the thing. So define get jobs, and then you can do the same thing where you just say jobs is that, and then return jobs. Yeah. So if you did that, and then now you want to go like jobs are equal to get jobs. So if you do it this way, actually we'll call it something else. We'll say new jobs. Why can I not? There we go. New jobs it's just gonna run that.
It's just gonna run the get jobs function.
Yeah, it's just gonna run the get jobs function. So new jobs is always going to be, once it's assigned, it is what it is. Like we can't go in. I can't assign a job to you now. I can go, Damien, occupation is, why can't I type, is equal to,
Professional Shiba racer.
what did you say?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No.
That's a professional Shiba racer.
Like now that it's been assigned, new jobs is still locked in. It's still something else because we've initialized it. But if we said like
You should.
print get jobs like that, it runs that function.
So occupation's been reassigned, but new jobs hasn't been reassigned. So new jobs still has the old information in there, and it's not going to be associated with get jobs anymore after that. I guess my question is, what if get jobs equaled new jobs? Would going anytime get jobs change, new jobs would change?
All right, now we're getting into having to actually learn things. Jobs.py. No, I'm just saying I just needed a thing that, yes. What are we doing? Yes. Sure.
Listen, every second.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, like every time it wants to. Big Jabs is asking, how did you get that line you already typed back? The REPL has a history buffer. I believe the REPL has a history buffer. I don't know how far back that history buffer goes, but I know that as long as I'm here, I can go through everything that I did.
You just hit up on your keyboard, right?
Yeah, just hit up. Yeah. I wonder if I do. Yeah, you can even do reverse eye search, and it'll print based on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What is reverse eye search?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry. That is an editor feature. I'm just using the standard Python REPL. But the terminal that I'm using is Alacrity or Alacrity. But I think that's just I think as long as I think your terminal has to have a history buffer. So that might be the difference. Maybe you don't have history set on your terminal, and that's why it's not showing up like that. But yeah, now I'm gonna move us over to here. That way we don't have to keep retyping the same thing over and over. All right, so we're typing in def get job, not get fobs, get jobs, get fobs. Cool, whatever. I don't know. We'll
whatever.
All right, so we're not returning that. I don't know what they were thinking, but J is equal to a dictionary. Name is J. I wish. No, I don't. I was stupid at that age. That's also wrong. Sure. Cool. So we got that, and then we have.
Ooh, product manager. That sounds fun. Rough, undefined.
Oh yeah, rough is going to start linting things almost immediately. Did I hit caps lock on something? Because it is refusing to go over. There we go. You know what? Just because that's going to get annoying, we're going to do. It's because it's gonna keep trying to do stuff.
The autofill. Okay.
Yeah. Wait. Why is it still doing the stuff?
I thought at least that much was normal, right?
Maybe, but even
I don't use
then.
Alacrity, so
Oh no, this is just.
it's Copilot.
Yeah, I think we'll see if I. Okay, no, it's doing the right thing now. It's just looking. Oh yeah, see, it's looking at. I wonder if I have another thing running there.
Pretty.
All right. Okay, cool. So now we got that. So we got Jay, we got Damien. Each have an occupation. Each have a name. So if we wanted to say, we'll say get DA, get the jobs.
We're gonna jobs.
We're gonna get the jobs, and we're gonna return. Let's do it. Let's do it two ways. Because I want to teach you comprehensions.
Okay.
And we haven't really talked about for loops yet, right? But we have talked.
Correct.
We have talked about this before. What does that do?
The star is an assigner, and you have to assign the one thing that the star is attached to, if I remember correctly. Everything else is auto-assigned.
So instead of saying auto-assign, we say positional, because you assign it, but you can assign it based on the position of where you assign it. And then you could say keyword argument for the everything else is a keyword argument, which means you have to assign the keyword. You say keyword is equal to whatever the value is. You're close. You're close. Yes, if we did everything after the star, everything before the star would be positional by default. Everything after the star has to be assigned. But if we do just this tells us that this item, people, is an unpacked list of objects. So it's going to treat people like an object. So we can say, we just did print people like that. And we do our big, why did I do that? If name. Okay, yeah, Copilot's definitely off because usually by now it would have been like, you want if name dot name, if whatever. I can't say it. Why can't I find the right thing? There we go. If name equals main. We're gonna gotta do this the right way. We're gonna return people up here, and we're just gonna print get to jobs. There we go. And then the jobs, because we were unpacking it, we'll say we'll say Damien, like that. And remember, it's going to take each of these assignments as entries in a list. We talked about it on the first stream that we did. Go check that out if you're watching this now and you're like, whoa, we just jumped like 1,000 levels. You're right, we did. All right, so let's exit out of here, and we're just gonna call jobs.py, and we've just printed the people. We've just iterated through the people, and I messed up. It creates an iterable. It doesn't create a list. I guess technically it makes a tuple or a tuple, depending on who you're talking to. Some people call it one thing, some people call it the other. I call it both, just to make everybody mad.
So
Um,
wait, it's not
it's,
unpacking a list of objects. It's creating a tuple.
it's creating a tuple, and you know the big difference in that.
I don't. Please tell
Okay,
me.
if we tried to add Jen, just Jen, flat out,
Mm-hmm.
does this work? Other than
The
seeing
way
the
you're saying
giant
that,
red
I'm gonna.
X
Oh, I didn't even look
on
at
the
giant Red X,
screen.
but yeah, no, it doesn't work apparently. Thanks,
Yeah.
Red X. You're always
Yeah.
there to help me.
Yeah, I cannot access append. And I mean, if we try to run it anyway. Yeah, a
Ooh.
tuple object has no attribute append. Like, it just says, like, hey, I can't do that. I don't know what that is. So it returns a tuple, not a list. If it were a list of people, which, good lord, I don't even know how I would. Well, I guess the easiest way to do it would be you just make that, and then you make this a list like that, like so right there. One, the giant red X goes away, and then we run it.
It gives you none.
Why did we get none?
Because it's false.
Mm-mm.
Let's see here. Oh, I mean, if we have a list, we shouldn't we be asking for something in the list? Because it says, "Get the job, print Jay and Damien, or print the list."
What specifically are we doing? What are we returning?
People append Jen. Jen doesn't have anything on the list.
Nope. You're right that that's what we're returning because that's what it says. People dot append Jen, but what does that mean?
I mean, it's just returning a string that's in the people.
Mm-mm.
Let
What
me
does
see.
append do?
I thought it's supposed to add it.
Okay, but what does append return?
Nothing.
So that's why it prints none.
Oh, because all you're doing is adding it to it. You're not actually returning a. You're not returning anything because all.
We're just returning the result. We're returning whatever the result of that function is. This is a thing that catches folks who are new to Python a ton. And honestly, some folks that have been doing Python for ages. This is a very common thing, and people are like, I don't understand why it messed up. Now, what's interesting?
Technically speaking, it didn't mess up. It just
Oh,
appended Jen, and then we just have to return Jen afterward.
so what it did was it created a variable called people.
Mm-hmm.
People was populated with Jay and Damien. This is a local instance of that. So I can't come down here and print people. It's gonna go, I don't know what people is. It's
Gotcha.
like, yeah, people's not defined. It's already telling us that. So this is assigned here, and it's saying here you're gonna add to it. Now what you can do is people.append return people. People is still not defined down here.
Gotcha.
But now when we do this, we get 3 people in Jen, or 2 people in Jen. Jen is a people too, but it's 2 dictionaries in a string. But it's important to know this is called like, you have like what are like side effects and like mutations of things. I believe this is considered a side effect. Like, or maybe it's not considered a side effect. I don't know. Like, there is a part of Python in which the thing that you're doing returns something. And then there are other parts where the thing that you are affecting becomes mutated, but the action itself doesn't return anything. So like people.append mutates people.
Okay. But it's not going to return anything because
because the result of dot append is none. It
gotcha.
returns none, but it changes the assignment that is people.
Gotcha. And the reason why you want it on two different lines is because if you return after you append, you can actually see the results. But if you don't and you just return the append,
Yeah.
all you're doing is adding to that people
And
dictionary.
and that is not always the case. If we did people pop
Well,
J,
what is
right?
pop?
What pop will
Populate?
nope. Pop pops something off of a list.
Oh.
This isn't going to work because this is not how you do pop, I believe.
I mean, I don't see any X's.
That's why you don't trust X's. Well, that and because they're your X for a reason, you know? Yeah. Because
Okay,
a
yeah.
dictionary can't be interpreted as an integer. Because what it's doing is
Oh, pop is for integers.
pop removes at an index. So that's my fault. I said that, and as soon as I wrote it, I was like, it's not going to work. And then I was like, well, let's just see what happens. But we can say pop negative. We'll just say pop 0, right? We're gonna pop the first item off of the list. And again, we're working with the list now. We're not working with tuple. This would not work with a tuple. The difference between a tuple and a list primarily is immutability. You cannot change a tuple, like once it's been defined.
Oh.
Yeah. But if we tried this, well, not this because this doesn't do anything, because we didn't tell it to return anything. If we return this now, we just get the
You're
first.
gone.
We get we get the object that was popped. So let's do this. Let's say we're gonna print f string person popped was this. We talked about f strings, right?
Yes. We talked about it. Still
Okay.
don't quite understand it, but we did talk about
It
it.
just it allows it runs Python code inside of the string. It says basically this string form the result of whatever this is, whatever happens here, I'm going to print out in this string as a thing. So let's do that, and then let's return people again, right? So then when we run this, oh crap, I did a thing.
Uh-oh.
No, it's fine. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. T-Mux will mess with you. So it says the person popped was J. Here, we'll clean this up. The person popped was J. And then what's left is Damien. Because pop actually does return something. It returns the item that was popped. It does both. It has the side effect of like, I'm going to remove J from this list, but I'm also returning that object that was removed.
Also still on the list. Oh.
So now it's removed from the list, but it also just returns that item that was removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I understand.
All right. And a lot of this was to get to the point of starting to get into conditionals where we say if statements, right? We talked about this if name.main thing. Well, we haven't really talked about it. Again, don't worry too much about that for now. We'll talk about this in the future, but at the moment it's not important. This is just how you run it directly while being able to import it into other places. It's a good practice to do. So just one of those things that we're just going to always do. So get the jobs, people. If we wanted to say, for name, occupation, and people dot values, right?
Okay.
Because each of these have a name and an occupation. We're going to print again f string, and we'll say name is a, there we go. Come on, there we go. Cool. So now we're gonna say, we're just gonna do that, and we don't have to print this anymore because, I mean, that's fine if we print it. It's just gonna, it's already being printed, so it'd be kind of weird. So now when we run this, oh, list has no attribute. Oh yeah, good point. This is good. This is good. This is good. We return to list. This is, again, I'm making these mistakes authentically. I'm not like, I messed up. Why did I mess up? Like, it's like, no, I just wrote this thinking that it would work. I did a couple of things wrong. One, what I was trying to do is call values like this. It's still not going to work because we're not passing in a dictionary. We're passing in a list that has dictionaries in it. So, how do we fix this?
Not passing a dictionary, passing in a list that has dictionaries in it.
Yes.
Gross. Okay. Would values have to be a different word?
It's
Or
not
would
values. We're still going to ultimately write this. We've just got to do something first.
Then it's not make it a tuple.
That's not it.
Ooh, I hate it.
Which
Let's see here.
we can go back into just passing
Oh, apparently, nope.
passing them in directly. That doesn't do anything. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still gonna yell about this. Again,
So would it be if we did the asterisk comma people to allow it to be assigned?
no. I want to say what I mentioned because I gave you the answer in the question. We're not iterating over each of the dictionary values yet. We're iterating over the tuple of dictionary values currently.
But tuples can't be changed.
They can be changed. They can still be iterated through.
Oh. So if we're just looking, or if we're just seeing what's there, we just have to print for person in people. I'm assuming person is not assigned, so we're assigning person to it. So that's person. I've never thought of that. Okay, so for X and Y, we're looking for the name and occupation of X values inside of the Y function, which is people.
Yes. So you have this.
Okay.
You have, yeah. Because if I just showed you, I mean, anybody can look at, we'll say print, or I don't know, is it? Like, that's easy, right? you can figure that out if you say, print. We've already done this already. You say print. Oh, I just said print people. Whoops. Not who they. I don't live in Houston.
Who they?
Who they?
Is. Okay, so you're printing directly from the list.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we did that, that's just for each object in the list, print that object. That's relatively simple. That's a trivial statement. We get that. But like if we have a thing inside of that thing, the first thing that we have to do is we have to get the contents of the thing.
Okay, so us using person inside of people allows us to get the content
Mm-hmm.
from people. Okay, okay. I think I'm wrapping around it.
Yeah. And then
It might be the caffeine talking.
And then we talk about values. The funny thing about this is values is probably not the best way to go about this. Dictionaries are ordered based in how you write them. That is a thing that has been codified now of like, it's just a happy coincidence. Back in the day, this used to not be the case.
Oh, that
Back
sounds
in-
complicated.
Well, back in the day, you would have your dictionary results could come back in any order.
Oh,
Yeah, because all you cared
it
about
random?
was, I mean, it was however it was written
Oh, okay.
and retrieved. Like I said, for the last several versions of Python, now you could do this. I would still suggest you probably don't. The
Yes, that
star.
makes sense.
We got another question. What does the star do? The star allows us to pass in these objects, and it will pack them up as a tuple. So when you do something like print J is meh or whatever, what that is doing is that's calling, and again, I don't know the full details of this, but in essence, it's saying print string of some sort, string value of some sort, and it's just saying for string value. Here, we'll add an S onto this. For string value in values. Technically, it also has a separator thing there. Why can't I think of the thing? Again, I can't tell you how it would like print it out, but ultimately it would say you have this thing, you also have this separator, and then you would do whatever the print thing is. I can't call this print. We'll call it sprint. You're saying print string value, print separator, and we'll say separator is equal to a space, right? So if we did sprint J is meh, it's just going to print J is meh, because that's what it does when it does it, which I did something wild there. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did wrong.
What do you do?
This should have been indented.
I just assumed that the star makes it a tuple.
The star
Is that
makes
wrong?
it. The star makes it a tuple. You were correct.
Okay.
The star makes it a
cool.
tuple. Someone was asking what does the star do, and I was like, it makes it a tuple. But like, I'm trying to kind of show what it's actually doing. It's also getting mad at me because of trying to unpack something. Yeah, because we name, occupation, and personal and values. Oh, wait, what?
Did we add values? People?
Hold on, hold on. Sorry, we'll get rid of that for now. Let's see. Let's think. Get the jobs. Get the jobs is for name and occupation in person dot values. There should have been 2 values, right?
Well, name and occupation, I assume.
Let's just do this. Let's just do this. Oh, I forgot to save it.
Okay. I don't know why every time Zoom pops up for the very first time for the occupation, it looks like it's saying developer Avenger instead of advocate.
I like it.
I'm like, that's a pretty solid title.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know.
Those developers who've been wronged. Days here.
Trying to clean this up. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there was the Big Jabs was saying. I think I get it. So instead of knowing you'll need three arguments for the function, star lets you put in as many functions. Yeah. No, that's 100% it. That is exactly what. Like if you don't know how many of a thing, instead of saying person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, and assigning none, you can just say people. And then however many people you define is going to, it's going to pack them all into that assignment. Yeah.
Yeah, Big Jabs understands.
Oh, we've covered this already. You got this.
It's all up here, locked away somewhere.
Yep. I mean, honestly, that's what most Python is like you learn about a thing and then you forget that you learned about it and then you learn about it again and you go, oh yeah, that's right. So looking at this, I'm trying to see, I was wanting to get into conditionals inside of things. So you could do if person we'll just do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we do this, we just say for person and people, if person's name is equal to J, then print the person, right? We're combining the loop. So we're saying go through people, but only if the person's name is J,
Print that person.
then print that person. So when we run this, we should only get J, right? Because it matches that condition. Now, this could be shorter. You can do, we've kind of done this already. Say for person, and people, if person
Name J.
Name equals J. Print person. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. I wrote that wrong. Print person Person for person. I cannot type. In people if person name is equal to J.
For people in person for person in people if person. Okay.
Sure. I want you to see this because you will see it. This is
Okay,
actually relatively common.
If X for X and Y.
X for X in Y if X equals some condition.
Equals J. I think we're missing a sense.
Yeah, if we said I want you to print person for person and people if person's name is equal to J. That does the same thing. I'm wondering what that error is. It better just be that line's too long because I agree.
It tells you if the line's
J is not defined. Oh, yeah, J is not defined. I got a linter on there that, yeah, if the line is too long, then it'll let me.
Is it because it's not capital?
That's because I can't type. There we go. So yeah.
Oh, because it wasn't.
Because it wasn't a string. And Big Jabs literally just said the thing. This is really hard to read.
Yeah, it is.
But sometimes it is easier to read. Because what if
multiple lines?
Sometimes. I'm not saying it. Not saying all the time. Not even saying most of the time. I'm just saying sometimes.
Okay.
Because again, if we have people, so we said what was it for person in people, and then you got to do if person. So yeah, if person name
J.
right?
Okay, so for person and people, person's name should equal J. If the name is equal to J, which we're making it, print the person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why does it say the name's not defined?
Oh yeah, because I didn't make name a string. Name's supposed to be a string.
Okay.
So like, you have choices ultimately.
Well, do you have that much choice when it comes to like? I guess if you're writing it yourself for yourself, it doesn't really matter. But like, if you're writing it in terms of like, hey, this is potentially going to be read by other people, is there a specific like documentation or methodology?
I'm glad you asked because this is where a style guide is important. If you have a style guide, the style guide will dictate what your company prefers. Some companies will just not care. Some companies will specifically say, if I remember correctly, comprehensions are technically more performant. So just do comprehensions, and a comprehension is.
Thank you so much.
That's a comprehension. The comprehension is all on one line doing the thing.
So it's faster if you do all on one line.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
there's a great, and again, some of the things are because of how they were made. Like that's just the answer. Like I'm trying to find there's a YouTube video that my old boss did. Anthony Shaw, PyCon, Write Faster Python. And again, this is not me telling you to go change all your code to this.
This is just purely for speed purposes.
This is saying if you had a thing that you needed to do, like because again, if you're iterating over a million lines and you're shaving off, 10 milliseconds over a million lines, 10 milliseconds per line for a million lines is probably going to be faster, noticeably faster.
It's like it's per line. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a reason to write it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also some level of like assignment that can go into that too. Can you explain why it's not print for person in people if, but print person for person if? Why do you need the extra person? Because what you were doing is you were assigning the value. So like if we did X, because person can have multiple people. So you can have X, Y. You could say print X plus Y for X. X plus Y for X, Y in. Why can't I type? There we go. In 2, right? So if we said X plus Y for X and Y in this, like if we did, like, how would you do that the other way? If you'd say print for X, Y in this, like, what does that look? I don't, part of me doesn't, and maybe it's because I'm pilled to not know what that would even look like. I don't know. Like,
I think I get what Big Jabs is saying because I was kind of confused.
X, Y, something like that.
I think Big Jabs, what the confusion is person for person versus just person in.
Yeah.
I think we're assigning person by doing person for person inside of the
when you do the people. The for is the assignment. The for X and Y is basically saying I want you to evaluate X and Y whenever you iterate through these things. The first thing that you're doing is you're just returning what that item is. Because again, like I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. But when we say person for person, that first person is what we want to do with it. Again, we could do. Go back here.
Oh! I think I might get it.
Person dot upper. We could say person plus or something. I don't like. What we're saying is do something with this for person, and that for person there is saying and person equals this condition in people, for person in people. Okay, that just means whatever this is. If we say that people here is just people, what we're doing is we're saying person is whatever the entry is for this whole thing. It's not just people, it's people if name is J. Name equals J.
This is the most complicated algebra problem ever.
It is.
But
and
I think I understand it now a little bit more. Like, if person for person, so we're trying to say we're going to be using this new definition of person. Use that person inside of people to assign this person named string named J. So going forward, person's going to be seen as J. I think is what it means.
Why can't I? There we go.
I think I get it. So we look at the longer version compared to the shortened one.
Okay.
Oh, oh, oh! I get it now that you've done it that way. Essentially, you're printing person. That's what the first person is.
Yeah.
It's the print portion of it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Why did I not get that?
Oh, it's no. It's fine. So the thing that's interesting about this is, can I turn off my linter? Rough disable. Is that it? No.
Linter refuses to be turned off.
No, I just don't know what the. I don't know what the here.
Crazy extras.
Okay, there we go. Nope. Rough turned its butt right back on. It's like trying to quit Vim. It was trying to quit Vim. This is Vim. This is just pretty Vim. Recommend languages. Yeah, I know. It's okay. It's enabled. I don't know where is it Mason? Hold on. Mason. Nope. Darn it. What am I doing? I broke it. Cool. Darn it. I keep doing that. I keep meaning to not do that, and then I do it. Space? Yes. Okay. Code? Yes. Mason? Yes. Thank you. Rough. How do I turn it off, though? I don't want to apply it. I want to turn it off. G question mark. Toggle help. Toggle package info. I don't want to uninstall the package. I just want to turn it off. All right, we're just going to deal with rough.
It says you can press leader UD to toggle diagnostics on or off. Whatever that means.
Did you just like where did you get that from?
Reddit.
Oh, okay. I like it. All right, cool. It just turns off all the things. That works. I'm okay. Oh, but then it turned Copilot back on. Darn it. Copilot.
It's not one thing, it's another.
Disable. There we go. Nah, just when I reopened it, it had to go do the thing. All right. So yes, you are correct. The print person, whatever is happening on that bottom line. That's why you have to have. That's why it's written twice. Well, that's gonna yell at me because of that. But yeah. But those two things are doing the same thing. And again, I think the reason that it's faster in some way, what this is doing is this is saying some new list is equal to this. And this is actually what it's faster than. I think I messed up when I was saying that it's faster in some cases. That it's... Does that make sense?
No.
No?
It doesn't make sense because I feel like there was an explanation that I must have missed.
Okay, so when we do this unpacking here,
Mm-hmm.
It's iterating through this new object here.
Oh, so what you're saying is all of that one line is essentially this entire definition.
Yeah, this is probably the more
Uh,
correct thing that's happening is that it's
yeah.
saying, hey, first thing I have to do is figure out who are all the people that are with the name J. Then I need to iterate through that list. So it's like a nest. If you do a for loop and then you do another for loop, you could just do it faster with the comprehension because it's doing it all in one motion.
Okay.
And
That
you
makes sense.
you
The
will
viewer likes
definitely
it on one line.
you will
People
see
like
this
it on
code. You will definitely see this code in places, and it's not good code. If you see this pattern, unless there's a good reason to, hey, what's up, Mike? Mike, I want to chat with you, Mike, because I want to do a stream with you at some point. I love the small improvements conversation you've been having, and shout out to Mike. I'm gonna put the YouTube. I don't have the link, but find Mike on YouTube. Make sure you check out the stuff. Sign up for his newsletter too. He's learning stuff. He's teaching stuff. But Mike's good people. But yeah, if you see this pattern, this is a very common pattern for beginners. Is that they will say, well, I gotta create a list of things that are happening, and what's interesting here is the thing that you'll see different is that like you'll have this for if thing happening going on. And when that for if thing starts happening, then they're like, oh, I need to take all these things out and put them in another thing. Then they get a new hammer called filter, in which filter is basically the same thing where you say people filter. Don't worry about what I'm typing right now. It'll be something like that, which we're just going to read it. We're just going to read it, okay? Basically, filter people and X here, this might make it easier to read, honestly. Right?
Isn't Lambda a language?
Lambda in Python is a way to basically write a small function on a single line. You'll see Lambda a lot in a lot of functional programming. Like if we wanted to do,
It's similar to F string, but not quite. Jesus Christ!
No,
This
it's
is
not
why
printing things. It's not printing things. The thing is, what I've learned is if I expose you to enough things, you'll start seeing them. And when you see them, you'll be like, oh, I remember talking about that. And it helps you to be able to read Python. Because honestly, the best way to learn Python is to read it and try to figure out what's happening. Which is why one of my least favorite things that people talk about when they're like, how do I use AI, is like having AI explain code. Like AI explaining code is great if you don't know what the code is doing. But if you are like, I don't understand what this concept is in Python, having it explain it like what it's doing is kind of limiting your ability to grok it over time. So to me, like the best way to learn it is just pure exposure. But yeah, like I said, with here, if we wanted to do people sort, right? We have to give it something to sort by. By default, it's just going to sort off of whatever sorry, I did that wrong. Sort does a different thing. Sorted, there we go, sorted. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say, I want it to sorted basically returns a sorted version of this thing. So we're going to say sorted people, and then we have to give it a thing in which how is it going to sort? Alphabetical? Maybe not. Maybe we want to sort it based off of the second character. And that's where you would have lambda you'd say lambda x, and you would just say x at index 1, like that.
Okay.
It's not like regex. It's lambda is I have this evaluation step that is going to return true or false in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's returning a string, because remember we talked about this at the very, very beginning. What happens when you return a string? Is a string truthy or is it falsy? A string of any kind, except for an empty one.
As long as it's not empty.
Exactly. So like when you do it this way, you say, whatever this value is, I'm going to return. Oh, sorry, I just lied to you. I'm a liar. It's going to return whatever it's going to return. It's going to return whatever this value is. So if we say x at index 1, what is it? If we said, if people are Jay and Damien, I wonder how this actually resolves.
Wouldn't it just use me?
Well, both of our second letters is a J.
Or A.
There's an A. Yeah, you're right. Oh man, not having rough is starting to break me. What is it? Unterminated literals. Oh, there's just 2. Yeah, that's easy fix.
Cakewalk.
Get the jobs 2.
But get 2 jobs. Get the jobs 2. I think.
Oh, underscore 2.
Is it supposed to be underscore 2?
Yep, naming is hard.
I thought it was just get the jobs. Oh.
Sorted expected 1 argument got to. Oh, yeah.
Because both our names have A.
Nope, that's not it. It is a thing. So this is where, to understand this problem, 1, you probably have to have bumped into it before, but 2, you have to understand. I know you have to understand how sorted works. Sorted does a thing that we have talked about. Sorted looks something like this. So what does that mean?
We need a key position inside of the lambda. So x1 is fine, but don't we need another? Okay.
Just means we have to define key like that.
Key.
Yeah.
So it has to be key equals, like no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't know.
It doesn't know which key. Like there's nothing assigned to key when key has not been assigned.
What are you doing? Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Keep hitting command instead of control.
So teased.
Hold on. Key error 1.
Because X is the list one. Should it be parentheses?
No. Hold on.
Hold it.
Oh, we just saw it there, right? Yeah, iterable. That asterisk there, which means you got to do it. Key is equal to none, right? Right. And you want to know the difference between sort and sorted?
Iterable.
Nope. Sort does like append. Sort changes the position of each of the items based on how it's sorted. Sorted returns a new object that is that item sorted. So if you ever need to retain the original version, if you don't want to move things around forever, then you use sorted. And I just say by default I use sorted because I don't like changing things that don't need to be changed. Don't need to change things that don't need to be going about being changed. Oh, okay. Yep. My bad.
Glad you got it.
No. This I wrote this wrong. You don't actually use a lambda. You use the second half of the lambda. Like that.
What? Why?
Wait a minute. Yeah, why? That doesn't make sense. Because how would you know what x is? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at their sorted function here.
Okay.
Func tools complete. They're using key is string dot lower, but how do you know that string dot lower is the thing? The default value is none. Oh, and each element reverse boolean func comp to key converted. The built-in sorted is guaranteed to be stable. A sort is stable if it guarantees not to change the relative order of things. The sorted algorithm uses less than comparisons between items when defining it, and less than method will suffice for sorting. Okay.
Is it automatic that sorted does that automatically? It looks for that positional in the key regardless.
It's looking for is something less than this other thing. The thing that I'm interested about is this should be it should be a function. I think I typed something wrong because this should be lambda x like that. I'm almost certain that that's what that should be. And if you're telling me that it's not, I have a broken. Duh. Okay, what? Same problem that we had before. What is X in this? X is people.
Yes.
Well, sorry. X is one object of people. It is for person and people.
Yes.
That's what
it's looking for.
Again, it's easier to read it if we say person, right? So person, same thing. People, same thing.
So it's looking.
It's returning an entire dictionary. There is no key called one in the dictionary. It's looking for person name. Person name.
And that's going to be the X one.
Yes. Which is good, because how would you sort a dictionary? Other than using sorted dict, which is the whole thing. But sorted dict, you tell it to do the thing. It's don't worry about that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. That's a whole nother thing that I never use, that you will probably also rarely use, except for that one time that you'll have to use it. But what if we wanted to sort by occupation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you do. So now, again, if you have this type of situation, you're not. Sometimes it'll get easier if you just say, you could say, new list or new people is equal to apparently half of that. Let's try that again. Nope, try that again. Learn Vim. That's my lesson for the day. Just learn Vim. Learn all of it. Boom.
Okay. Great lesson.
I'm kidding. Good. Have fun. have fun doing the thing. So if we said new people is sorted, person in new people. If person is so, like, do you see how this could get more complicated? If we then did if
Already complicated, but yep.
yeah, for person in new people. And then you do if person name is J, like it starts to like eat itself in terms of how complex it can look. So sometimes it is just easier to read as you would read it. You would say print person. We're going to get rid of all the S's there. For person, not new people. We're just going to say in sorted people key that. And all of this stuff doesn't really matter because as long as you know what that's doing, because you got to say name. Oh, well, we already did that part, so we're just gonna if all of that if person name equals J, right? Pretty
sounds good. Don't you say pretty simple? Don't you dare.
It's not pretty simple. It's not pretty simple. It's pretty easy to start reading. So you can say, and we'll even call it, why not? We'll call it sorted person. For sorted person.
And sorted people.
Key lambda person name. So we're sorting this by name.
Okay.
If
so far good. Person name.
Sorted person name is equal to J. Because now you're dealing with two separate iterables. You're dealing with the iterable that is just people, which is the unsorted version. And then you're dealing with the other one. So we'll just say like,
Well, what's the answer to this? Because if we do sorted people equal to J, wouldn't it just sort only your name and occupation?
Here we go. Let's
That's when the number comes into play.
Okay, right? So if we do this, so now we have Jay, Jen, and Damien. We're saying we want you to sort these. Well, let's kind of force our hand here. We'll say reverse.
What's reverse?
In sorted.
Oh, okay. Sorted reverse. Okay.
Yeah, sort of. Again, this is why it's probably easier for this to be one line, even though the line is getting a little ugly. And some people will argue that like it's not easier on one line, and I'm like, that's fair. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. I'm serious. Like that's why you have style guides. Some developers want you to use this language because it's easier for them to go through a single line and say sorted person, which is the person that was sorted. Just print that out. Sorted person is the object in sorted people, where you're sorting by the person's name and going in reverse order. If the sorted person's name starts with the letter J.
Yeah, I mean, when it's explained like that, I understand it.
Yeah. But if I did... Oh, whoops. Went too far. Not Jeff. Jeff doesn't exist.
No, Jeff, I'm sorry.
Jeff is gone forever. But if we did... Let's see. How would we even start this? We would say sorted people or sorted. Yep. In order to do this, we'd have to do sorted people is equal to this.
Hmm?
Then the next thing would be, so we get that list.
If or for
Yep. For
sorted people and
sorted
people
person
person sorted person
in sorted people if
person
sorted person
or nope sorted person equals name zero place
right.
mm-hmm. Print. Okay, so those should look exactly the same.
Yeah, these should do the same thing.
Let's see. Semicolon,
Yep.
colon. Interesting. So one
Oh,
prints on two different lines while the other will print on one line. Because one is a dictionary still.
oops. That's wrong. That's better. Oh, hold on. We gotta verify that. Ooh, wait, what? Did I not save it? There it goes. Wait, did
Okay,
I?
because it was in the thick boys, the square boys. It changed it. Okay, they made it a list.
Yeah. What is wrong
Okay,
here?
so I think I understand. Okay, you're
Why
still
is that
confused.
different?
Okay,
Why is that different?
which one are you seeing that's different?
Look at the
Oh,
results.
why is yeah? Why this time is it different? What the fuck? Because every other time it printed it correctly.
Oh, look what we did. We did. We sorted by the person's occupation, not their name.
What?
There it goes. I sorted by the occupation, not the name. All right.
Oh, I can't see because my big ass head is in the way of the.
Oh, is it?
That's why. Yeah. I'm sitting there like I don't understand how you see this.
Oh man, can I? I wonder if I can
Just
do
put me up top. It's fine.
do this and then. Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me like window like how StreamYard does, where you can put them in like a block and have a window there. I think you can. I just think it's you gotta like. I'm gonna break something. Nope, that just hides my face. Crop to fill.
You
That
do
just
that.
does that. Can we zoom out? Nope. That doesn't do anything. Okay. Yep. Nope. I give up. Can we? We can. That just adds a whole screen there.
So many me's. Hate this.
There we go. Shoot, there. Now you can read all of it. We just need a background to hide the other screen. Could probably.
Like I'm finally entering the Matrix.
Yep, you've done it. You've done it.
This is how hackers coded in the 90s.
Oh no, hold on. I got you. I gotta copy a thing really quick. Hold on. Be right back.
Okay.
No.
Man.
I mean, I won't be right back, but I'll be right here. Can backload this in. Paste that in. Go. Find my layers. Nope.
Nice.
Find the layers and then put that in the back here. There we go. So now this is Ecamm, yes. While this stream is not brought to you by Ecamm, my present live stream setup is brought to you by Ecamm. Go support Ecamm and tell them that Jay Miller from Conduit sent you. Because they do give me money, but for another thing. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, now people can see us and we're not in the way. Look at that. We made our stream better. How about that? Beautiful. All right. So yeah, you can choose which one of these is better for you. If this, and what's funny, if you look at this, do you see what the linter did? The linter took our code inside of this list and it parsed it out into individual lines to make it readable. So now looking at it, which one's easier to read? Is the first one easier or the second one easier? Big Jabs has reversed his position. Big Jabs was saying originally that line by line, it was the second one was more easier. But now when you read it, it's easier to read out as what's happening. Instead of saying define this, then define this, then define this, then define this. Now finally go print that last definition or go back and print that first definition. Instead, now you're saying, I want you to print sorted person. Sorted person is equal to this sorted value, but only print them if the sorted person's name starts with a J. Instead of first create an empty list called sorted J people. Then create another list called sorted people that's going to be the sorted version of just the people that you passed in. Then I want you to go through the sorted people, and if their name starts with a J, I want you to add them to the sorted J people, and then finally print sorted J people.
Oh, that's what it's doing, and that's why it takes so long. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting it slowly but surely.
Yeah. And that's where comprehensions and again, the conditionals and the comprehensions are like, they kind of go hand in hand because they are the same thing of like where you can either do it on quote unquote one line or in one statement, or you can do all because of lambda. It's not don't say that.
Lambda's fault.
No. Because all lambda is doing there is this. If we did def get first letter pass x, return x at position 1, right? Or x name position 0. That's all. And then you would technically just replace this with
So lambda is doing all that definition,
Yeah,
basically.
that's all that lambda is doing. And in fact,
If lambda
that's
has, go ahead.
what's that?
I was gonna ask, does lambda have more than just that as its skill?
Yeah. Lambda is good when you need to do some like
Mm-hmm.
just one thing really quick.
Okay.
Now, if we were doing I don't know, x is equal to dictionary, I don't even know. X is, or we'll say y is equal. I hate using these types of phrasings. Y is equal to x name x name upper, and then why is my life just unraveling? It's because I'm a Vim user. Y is equal to x name upper if y equals j,
Oh,
then z is equal to 24. Again, I'm just making stuff up. Else z is equal to 42. Print z. Like, that's not a lambda. Put that logic in a function and call the function. Like, if you're gonna do all that complicated stuff, do all that complicated stuff somewhere else, and then call somewhere else into your function. Don't try to write. What would that even be? Lambda. I can't even. I'm trying to think. Lambda x. Okay, 24 if x
is it because it's a multi-line function that it doesn't really work?
name dot upper x if name dot upper equals j else 42. Like, that's these do the same thing. One of these I would not accept the lambda x 24 if x name dot upper equals j else 42. I would say, hey, take that logic, put that in a function, and call that function.
Okay.
And technically, because this function is only used internally in our program, use an underscore. So, because the underscore tells us that people don't got to know about that function. They're not going to call that function. That function gets used internally only. It doesn't do anything different. It just tells, it's a visual indicator. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who is a consultant that uses Python. And we were talking about like some of the things that they don't teach you in Python when you're learning is the difference between like when would you say when would I write instead of versus what's the difference between those two?
Hey,
Jen,
Jabs, you're up. I don't know.
there is no difference.
Oh, then why would you capitalize one versus not capitalize one?
Writing it in all caps tells people that these values should not change.
Oh,
That's it.
interesting.
It's just it's an indicator that this is a constant.
Could
Just
you not make it a tuple
I mean, you could.
instead? But this is just that like an indicator that for all
The
developers, hey, this is
the reality is it should be like this. And really, these you wouldn't capitalize that instead. You would leave that. Well, come on, get back. You would leave that like that. And then you would say J doesn't change, Jen doesn't change, and Damien doesn't change. These values are constant. These values are not. And the thing is, I can change them in Python. There's nothing stopping me from going.
and physically changing them.
There's nothing preventing that. But it is just standardized language that says if I have given you these values and they're in all caps, that means don't mess with them values. I actually do this for my own personal site. How do I buffer S?
So Big Jab says, is immutable not built into Python?
Some things are immutable, but not all things.
Tuples.
Yeah, a string is mutable. I can mutate a string however I want. I can mutate a list or a dictionary however I want. I can't mutate a tuple. Once I've mutated the tuple, like the only thing I can do with the tuple is where I can reassign the variable that the tuple belongs to another tuple. Why is my brain broken right now? Nope. Hey, no. My brain is broke. My brain.
Caffeine.
No. I don't know why I can't create a new session now. My brain is just like it. I could have sworn there was a B. No, that renames the session. That's not it. That just shows the time.
That's cool.
Yep. No next window.
A new session for you, I suppose.
Nope. Again, that's the time. We already established that. There we go. We detached the session. Let's create a new session now. Z. Go to my website. Yeah, bat. No, not you. You. Yeah. You see what I've done in here? Which is actually kind of funny because all of these should be capitalized. Because what it's saying is I have defined these things. These things should not change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to be the site owner. I'm always going to be the site title is always going to be whatever my handle is. The subtitle is always going to be this. You should not go mucking about and changing that value. And that's just a reminder to myself. Not necessarily like if I wanted to change it, I can change it. But I'm saying I shouldn't go into routes.py and come in here and say site URL should be something else.
Hmm. And that's just also specifically for like anyone else who's working on that code.
Yeah.
Or if you haven't used it in a while and you needed to remember something.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get it. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's just an indicator. If you see like, wait, why did they? I've always been told snake case. Why in the world did they capitalize all this stuff? It's just an indicator of like, don't mess with this because it's supposed to be this value and this value is never going to change. So like sometimes you'll see things like you'll see like API key is equal to Yeah, something like that. And that's telling you, we've set API key. Don't touch my API key. Like, if you change the API key, if you change the API key, it's going to break a bunch of stuff. So like, don't do that. Like, username, password, all them things. Don't mess with them, because if you do, you might be assigning values in someone else's code. And again, like, if I have authenticate, and then we do, I don't know, API key plus username plus password. I don't know. You're just doing what you're doing isn't important, but you logging into the password, whatever. It's yelling. The reason it's throwing an error is because remember what we did before. Oh, you have to hop. Okay. Mm-hmm. It returns none if it's not assigned, so you have to give it a default value. So now it'll always have a string.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's why. And again, I call this defensive programming. And maybe, I don't know, book publishers have me, talk to me. We'll write a book about it. I like the idea of defensive programming in the perspective of if you write code and instead of doing this, you just do OS environ and you call API key instead of doing the other thing. That is the same thing as doing your dictionary, get the key, because environ is a dictionary. So you're just saying get that key. But isn't this built into object-oriented languages like Java and C? It's built into, what I'm calling in Python. This is all standard in Python too. But is the idea of constants, if you're asking sorry, I keep forgetting I'm streaming to multiple channels. So the question was, isn't this built in to object-oriented languages like Java and C? And the answer is I think so. I don't know. I don't do Java and C. Not like that at least. But like I know that like with Java you can say, private versus, public, and then you can make things static or not static. You can do things in like JavaScript even. JavaScript has the idea of const. Wait, why is the screen cut off? That's weird. I just noticed that. Like, the screen is, like, cropped. I don't know why the screen is cropped like that. Like, genuinely, I didn't do anything to it. It's like, it's just cropped it. There you go. It has like the idea of const, and it has let, and it has var, where const can't be changed. I forgot the difference between let and var. Yeah, I'm lost as to why the screen decided all of a sudden to just go, I'm gonna scooch over. It's kind of weird. But yeah. That is, Python has no concept of those things. It's like I don't know why you're asking me that. But yeah, going back to here. I think we're good. I think we've better explained.
There's some explanations, Ad.
Yeah, we've gone into functions, but I think we've talked about a lot of different things in Python that are like practically applicable. The thing that we didn't get to that I want to get to at some point is the idea of context managers, which is, when we talk about context managers, we're talking about, I don't know if you've seen this before,
No. As soon as you put with, no.
Yeah. All right. So with is a context manager. With is doing a lot. With is doing a bunch of heavy lifting. If you are interested in learning kind of what that means, not even kind of, if you're interested in applying what that means, then do I have the issue for you?
Oh boy.
Boom, right here.
Oh boy.
I'm still really confused on why that screen is just chopped off like that. Like I cropped it. Did I tell it to crop? Corner radius, no. Border width, no. I don't know. But the idea.
Get link.
Yeah, I'll copy the link for you. I'll put it in the chat. Boom. So this is an active this is for the static site generator that I'm building, that I've been building since 2019, as we mentioned. We have someone who wrote this class, and the class has like a start server and it has a stop server. And I was like, wait a minute. So it has an open and it has a close. That means we could make it a context manager. And by making it a context manager, instead of don't read my emails, it's fine. It was about going to a conference. But like, instead of this, what this is actually doing is this is saying open. Not here, actually.
Hop off in a sec.
Yeah. These two statements are the exact same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what happens if you forget to close something? Then you start running into problems. Yep, stuff starts breaking. So that's what I want to talk about next time. Context managers. We'll talk about why. I mean, we already did kind of talk about why, because it's important to close things. Maybe you want to have a specific routine in closing things. What is f.close? What does that mean? And do you really want that person to have to do that thing every single time? Do you want to create a special function for it? Well, you can, and you can have it built in, and it's the context manager, and it's called close, and it's just called like just doing the with thing. And you will see this a lot with APIs. So if you're doing any type of API hacking, sometimes you'll have to like, API.connect, blah, 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 then API, do some stuff, do some stud, API, disconnect, right? You'll have to do things. So anytime you see a pattern of like, I'm doing a thing, or I'm establishing a connection with a thing, then I'm doing the thing, and then I'm establishing some disconnection to the thing. That is an indicator that you can usually include a context manager that will always remember to properly disconnect from the thing, and do it in a way that you are prepared for, instead of just leaving it to the wolves to remember to close stuff. Because if we're going to do anything, we're going to forget to do something, right?
This guy right here, always gonna forget something, especially a colon.
Especially a colon.
Of course, I'm gonna forget the close.
All right. How do I do the default scene? It doesn't include you. Hold on, I'm bringing you in. Zoop. There we go. All right. Cool. All right, folks. This has been fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, another 2-hour stream. We just do this for like 2 hours every time. It was actually like almost exactly 2 hours. 1 hour, 59 minutes, and like 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So, like, fantastic. Good timing. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Y'all have a good one. Don't you dare start putting jokes. I'm just saying someone else put this in here. It wasn't me. Don't come at. Tell his people, do not come after me. I didn't say this. It wasn't me. The nerds will be out.
He's starting.
in
He's
full
starting
force.
controversy to get more people. That's all.
I mean,
Watchers are still watchers.
the 3 people watching the stream versus the thousands of people watching him. That's not a battle that we're going to win
Hate
off
watchers are
of
still
numbers.
watchers.
Hate watchers are still watch. I mean, hey, yeah, I guess. Um, awesome. Well, this has been fun, but yeah, Damien, I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later, Jay. Thanks.
See ya.